Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Drawing Down the Stars. I'm Snappy, and thank you for joining me today for our live tarot reading on June 16th, 2024. It's so amazing to be here with you all, and we're going to have a wonderful day. I just want to start by asking you all if you could take 2 seconds and hit the like button, and if you have yet to subscribe, please subscribe. Likes really do boost the videos and the algorithm and makes a huge difference, and I really appreciate it. So if you could take a second and give me a like, it means all the world. So let's start by talking about the astrology. So as we've been seeing, a lot of the astrology is staying very similar. We have all of this Gemini energy in, we have all this kind of intensity with the moon in Libra. But we do have a couple of shifts coming in. One really important shift that we need to pay attention to is this Neptune and Pisces energy. And what we're seeing here with this energy is that this is kind of like it's a real deep fixation upon dreams, upon ideals. But it's also, what I'm getting here is like it's just this energy of kind of cleaning house, right? Reflecting upon yourself, but throwing out old conceptions. You know, we're always in a state of flux. We're always growing. We're always changing. And every once in a while, we need to do this process where we re-examine our own self-image and we correct it, you know? So this is kind of the energy of where the astrology is. Plus, we're still in this incredible Gemini mode, right? All of this communication, all of this community, all of this learning, all of this intensity, right? So really try to take this moment to reflect upon yourself and be in the present. Really just be and try to see who are you today. Don't worry about who you were or who you're going to be. This is the energy of today, you know? It's that kind of practical in the moment kind of time. And it really reflects for the meditative energy I had. If you noticed, I want you guys to embrace, you know, the sun and be in this creative mode, right? In the previous days' energy, we had this really powerful, beautiful energy of the sun. And I've been feeling this a lot, this positivity. But we need to embrace this positivity, accept the positivity, and create in it. Be present in it. Enjoy it. This is that energy of people have worked to be here, and people need to be present and enjoy the fruits of that work, you know, and to continue to build in it too, right? With all of this success, there's always more opportunity. So this is this creative time to be in the present, to just enjoy life and to just take things in flow, right? That's what I'm seeing. That's the general energy. So as always, we're going to then move to our sortes, right? I wanted to start today with an interesting book. It's called Cosmogonic Eros. It's by a German philosopher and psychoanalyst, Ludwig Klages. And it's a really incredible book. Klages is kind of a controversial figure in the West outside of Germany, but really I think he's a really beautiful thinker in many ways. He really emphasizes a return to the primitive, for lack of a better term. He really is connected to the Greek. He wants to go back to that ancient Pelasgian way of thinking. He has a strong feminist bent. There's a lot of incredible pagan thought and just beautiful stuff to his work. And it's deeply philosophical, and this is a good read. And yeah, I really love this book. It's a lot of fun. So we're going to start by asking the muses to send us a message through this book, Cosmogonic Eros. So for those of you who are unaware of the sortes is a form of bibliomancy. And it was developed within the Greco-Roman tradition. And what you do is you take a piece of literature or text, you flip through it, and you allow inspiration to guide your hand, and you read a line out of context, and you take that line as, you know, as your divination, as your message from the muses. So I believe that Ludwig Klages is a deeply inspired person who is connected to the muse. And this book was deeply inspiring to me. So perfect choice. So let us ask the muses. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message that we need to take forward? How do we best move and flow? What's your inspiration? All right. Wow. We reach for it, for remoteness is. Wow. We reach for it, for remoteness is. This is that striving after beauty, right? This is that eros of distance. So apt, given the book that we're flipping through, Cosmogonic Eros, right? It's that in spite of the separation, in spite of the distance between you and your love or that object that you want to connect with, you want to be in this love and you want to pursue after it. You want to strive after it, right? So I have a question that's, what is cosmogonic eros, or what does cosmogonic mean? And what this is in reference to is that within the ancient Greek traditions, there are two eroses, right? Eros is the god of love. Normally sexual love is seen as the partner of Aphrodite, right? Often as like a diminutive kind of little baby figure, or sometimes as a young man with wings. This would be your traditional normal eros that most people are familiar with, or Cupid in the Roman tradition. But within the Orphic tradition and within the earlier Greek traditions, like in the Theogonies and such, you have a different conception of eros. You have eros in his cosmogonic form, that is, in his cosmic creative form, where he is this force of eros, of desire, right, that cracks that Orphic cosmic egg and causes the unfolding of all creation. In this Orphic conception, eros is the cause of all things, right? It would be the akin to Lucifer. It's that desire, right? In the Indian, you also have this, but it's Shakti, right? But it's the same thing. It's that desire for transformation, for love, right? So yeah, really interesting stuff. That's what I mean by cosmogonic eros. And that message, again, is just about striving after beauty, connecting to the muse, connecting to the goddess, even though there is this separation, there is this distance, there is this inability to reach her. You must strive anyway. And it's in that striving that beauty is attained and that there's this magic. It makes it almost even more pure, the fact that it appears unattainable, right? You see this so much within the Indian traditions, right? I often think of the Bhakti saints, people like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who would enter into these states where he would be embodied with Krishna, or with Radha's love, and then strive after Krishna in love and crying out. You see the same thing with Ramakrishna, where he becomes possessed by Radha and strives after her, or he becomes possessed by Kali, right? It's just a beautiful thing, I think. So, great way to start. Now let's move to our next Sortes book. We're going to do a Sortes from Euripides, the 10 Plays, right? Euripides is a classic tragedian, playwright extraordinaire, one of the most famous for bringing more humanity to the gods. I always recommend everyone to read the Bacchae and Medea and Iphigenia, right? You read them all, actually. They're all great. We love Euripides. All right. So muses, guide my hand. What's the message? What do we take from this? How do we best move and flow? What is the inspiration from Euripides? Above the established doctrines, neither knowledge nor practice should seek to go. Above the established doctrines, neither knowledge nor practice should seek to go. Right? Knowledge and practice, that's it. Everything else, all the other doctrines, everything else you're establishing or you building, this is your foundation, this is the beginning, this is the end. Knowledge and practice. The pursuit of knowledge is the divine pursuit, right? To know. To know the other is to strive after beauty, right? It's to love. It's that pursuit of love. To pursue knowledge is to pursue love, if you're doing it honestly. And then, you know, you got to be in that proper mode, that proper mindset, that proper method where you're moving in that flow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Okay. We're going to continue. Parvati Darpana, right? The Mirror of Parvati. Written by my professor from university, Dr. Harsha Videhasia. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message? What do we need to take to best move forward? What is the inspiration? How do we move and flow? All right. It is on the basis of this that aesthetic experience can be considered a bona fide yoga. Aesthetic experience can be considered a bona fide yoga. Right? What is yoga? Yoga is practice, right? Yoga is transformation. It's a disciplined act to put the body into flow with the universe. You know, it's that incredible, powerful, divine work, you know, of transformation. And what this is telling us that the aesthetic experience, the experience of perception, of perceiving beautiful art objects, of looking to the art and seeing the image behind it, that eidolon, that divinity, right? This is a yoga in and of itself. The exploration of mythopoetic images, right? That's the path of the aesthete or the rasa, you know? Exactly, divine union. Those who pursue that divine union, that Shiva and Parvati marriage, right? To become that Adnahari, right? The Adnahari Ishvara, the penultimate moment before unity and oneness is achieved. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. So our next text, we're going to go to Arcana Mundi. This is one of the first texts I ever got about the Greco-Roman magical tradition. It's a phenomenal text. George Luck goes through and he takes excerpts of magic and mystery from all over the Greek world and compiles them and commentates. So let us ask the muses. What is the message we need to know to go forward? How do we best move and flow? What is the inspiration? Guide my hand. All right. George Luck, what can you show us? Because the gods are unknown and invisible, they are named, for they are invisible in a completely different manner than are the demons. Because the gods are unknown and invisible, they are named, for they are invisible in a completely different way than are the daimons. Wow, right? This is all about that kind of perception in reality. This is something that a lot of people miss, is that the gods are in a different kind of dimension. And when they interact with us, they interact us through these intermediary daimonic spirits, of which the muses are one, of which your personal muse is one, or your daimon, or your holy guardian angel, however you wish to conceptualize these things. It's unimportant, but, you know, the point is to think about this idea that the gods are invisible and that they're beyond our perception. And so we need the name in order to perceive them. And that they are different invisibility than the daimons. They're intermediaries, that which act on their behalf or which act on our behalf. It's a really interesting thing to ponder, to think about this, right? And it's in that act of naming that you give them form and conception. This is a bit different, you know, like with everything else in a reality, it's the act of perception itself that causes something to be set in time, that causes something to be, in a sense, named, given form, right? It is the sight, but we cannot perceive the gods. They are beyond sight. So then it is the act of defining by giving them a name that is representative of their form and function that gives them definition. right? Interesting. Let us continue. We're going to go to the Book of Thoth. Very perfect for today, as always. And Aleister Crowley, the great magus, you know, if you're into the tarot, this is the book. What can I say? Pick it up, read it. All right, let us go. Muses, guide my hand. What is the message? What do we need to take forward to move and flow? What is the inspiration? What can Crowley teach us? Logically so, being the word, he is the law of reason or of necessity or chance, which is the secret meaning of the word, which is also the essence of the word and the condition of its utterance. This is really deep from Crowley because this is showing you that Crowley understands the original meaning of logos, the Greek word for word, that symbolic magical word of manifestation. He understands the original reading in the Greek, which is that logos is to take account, or put more aptly, to utilize one's faculty of reason, right? The secret meaning of the word, which is the essence of the word in the condition of its utterance, right? Being the word, he is the law of reason or of necessity or chance, right? He is the law of reason or of necessity or chance, which is the secret meaning of the logos. If anyone tells you that Crowley isn't a dragon and doesn't know what's going on, yeah, all right. He may be a total weirdo, taken with a grain of salt, but you know. All right, let us continue. Let us continue. We're going to ask the fairies. This is my fairy guide deck. I just like it. It's cute. So let's ask the fairies. What is the message? Send us some inspiration. Okay. What do we need to know to best move and flow? Okay. What better words than wish wisely? When I think of magic, this is the most central thing, you know, because in my experience, magic just works. So if you don't ask the right thing, or your thoughts are jumbled or all over the place, or yeah, be very careful. It's all in the grammar, remember? It's all in the spelling. It's all in how you conceptualize and imagine it. If you want the spell to work, you have to be clear, you have to be concise, and you have to be sure and certain, and be careful. You don't want to do anything that could cause a lot of issues, right? That could cause any kind of conflict, right? Be careful what you wish for. It also makes me think of that energy of the devil. The devil gives you whatever you want. Gives you the ability to do anything. It's up to you what you do with it, right? Prometheus gave us fire. Fire can light the home. It can provide the energy to do anything we need to do, or it can explode us all up, set us all ablaze, destroy everything, right? We're now going to do our tarot proper. So before I get into it, I'm just going to pause and ask you guys to like and subscribe. Give me a quick like, good karma. It means a lot. Send me that little blessing. It does give me a boost within the algorithm. Also, if you are interested in a private reading, you can reach me in my email below, snappydds@gmail.com. It's in the description below. So we're going to start by doing our tarot. As always, I use the Thoth deck of Lady Frida Harris and Aleister Crowley. And we're going to do the Saturn Square, which invokes that energy of wisdom, that Saturnian energy, where we're going to dissect our life, cut it all up, put it on the plate, look at all of the connections, and try to see where we're falling short. How do we best move and flow? How do we find our true will? Okay, what do we need to do? Guide my hand muses. As always, we cut our deck in 3, and the center card is the most important card of our square. All right. We've seen this one. We've seen this one. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Prudence. Prudence energy. 8 of discs. That's maintaining, right? Watering the tree, pruning your crops, taking care, taking responsibility for what you had built, continuing to build upon that foundation so that it will grow. You want the 8 to rise to the 9 and to the 10. This is in that profound moment. You're at level 8. You just need to keep going. 9, 10. Only 2 more floors left. Keep building, right? Beautiful energy for our center square. All right. And next, that red goddess, that queen of cups, that beautiful fiery energy, that woman who is in that mode of creative, powerful performance and desire. You know, this is your Erykah Badu's of the world, right? Those people who just go out and do, who are creative, who are themselves, and who are powerful. Beyonce's, right? Beautiful. Connected to that prudence, I'm seeing that we're building this energy. We're connecting to this kind of powerful, transformative, creative, feminine energy, and we need to just keep embodying that. Yeah. Right? If we continue on this path, that 8 will transform into the 10. That key is here, and it's in this red queen, embodying this energy, being that passionate, feminine energy, right? The key with the feminine energies is always it's invested in that kinship building, right? It's invested in not just uplifting herself, but everyone around her. She ensures that everyone feels that passionate fire and joy, right? This is why she is an artist, right? A performer. She gives, and we want to make sure that we're in that energy of performing, of giving, of sharing, and of lifting those around us, because that's going to turn that 8 into that 10, that incredible abundance, overwhelming abundance in the material realm of discs. These are such complementary, building upon energies. Beautiful, beautiful. Love to see it. All right, let's go up to the next one. We have that Prince of Discs. Great energy to be associated with prudence, right? We're in that mode of building. We are transforming our foundation. We are expanding our tower. We are engaged in this maintenance, right? The only issue is, while we are connecting to that earth and we are trying to, take responsibility, and we are trying to move and build and create, we're showing up a little immature still. There is learning to do. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it requires caution, right? We don't want to be reckless. The princes have a tendency to be reckless. Not always. They can sometimes go the other way, right? And then they don't act. This is the issue of immaturity. But this is something that can grow if it's nurtured. So let's see where that energy is going. What's happening? Wow. Speaking of growth and nurturing, that Prince of Discs is going on a journey, is going on a trial. We have the Hangman. Hangman, right? This is active change brought upon through deep self-reflection. Wow, that's mature energy for a prince. This is difficult, right? This is sorting your shit out, organizing your life, figuring it out, making the necessary sacrifices to grow. So this is that energy that is going to turn this prince into that knight, right? This is giving up your weaknesses, doing what is necessary to level up, right? Let's continue. Wow. And what is the key here? What is this leveling up really about? What is this hangman coming in to do? Bring balance, to give us that solid mental focus and comfort and security. And, this energy is perfect. It's perfectly balanced. It's perfectly in calm. It's perfectly united. The 4 suits, right? This is a person who's at peace with their current situation. This fits so well with the energy we've been seeing in the astrology and from my meditation when I was talking about, right? You want to be in the present. You want to be accepting and just working in the now and be in that flow. This is that Buddha energy, you know? Nothing bothers him, right? And when he gets angry, he sees himself getting angry and he lets it go. Even when he gets too happy, he sees himself getting too happy, he lets it go, right? That's the magic of the Buddha. He's able to be in that control, in that flow. And that's what you see here with this energy. Someone who has that ability to just be at peace and not react, right? Not be triggered. This is like, if only, right? If only. But it's going to be coming from deep sacrifice here. Deep sacrifice. You know, this is not something that's easily attained. You don't just quiet the mind, right? Let's continue. What's happening? Moving to our next line. Fool. Dionysus. Rebirth. Taking a leap. Transformation. Upgrading. Switching directions. And being in that fun, loving energy of it. Taking the risk. Throwing yourself out there and saying, boom, let's do this. Wow. Interesting energy. Connecting to that prudence and to that Prince of Discs, I'm seeing a shift here, you know? It's almost like that building energy of the Prince and this idea of maintaining what you've built, that's a new thing for this energy, right? This person is not someone who does that. Let's continue, though. Let's see where this is going. Wild. Love it. Virtue. Interesting. So, what is driving this transformation, this leap, this risk, is this deep passion, right? The Three of Wands is virtuous energy of transformation. I always think of that vision of Demeter searching for the quarry, right? In that loving, with her freaking torch, running out there trying to fight her down with all of that love and that passion. Right? This is that night energy out to go save the world, to do what you need to do, right? It's also that Hecate trivia energy, the three faces, you know, the crossroads, Scandi is saying, right? X always marks the spot where the treasure is to be found. This is about embracing that passion, that love, that action, right? Being inspired and taking a virtuous leap, a virtuous act, right? This is about, like, you're not just inspired, you're doing something that you know is good, that you believe is good, that you believe will bring joy to you and others. And that's what's inspiring this leap, right? It's like, not only are you inspired, you're inspired to positive change. Yeah. Wow. Connected directly to that Fool and to that Three of Wands, we now have the magician himself, right? This is Hermes, the one who can move between the worlds, who can manifest his will, that voice, right? The ultimate daimon. Wow, that is profound energy. So connected to that Fool and to that Three, this is a willed transformation, right? So this is about seeing yourself and holding yourself to that imagined higher account, wanting to be that virtuous, powerful, good person, putting that into your imagination and your will, desiring it, willing it, praying it, right? And now you're taking the leap and you're doing it. You're embodying it. Wild. That's beautiful to see. That's really, really three beautiful cards. This whole spread here. Wow, love it. I'm going to tilt the camera now so you guys can see the full layout of the Saturn square. Okay. So here we go. As you can see, right? So much beautiful energy, so much interconnection. We're going to start by reading the top down here. So we have that Queen of Wands. So embodying this Queen of Wands energy, bringing this Queen of Wands energy in, which is going to give us that supreme success, that completion, that wealth, that family, that security, you know, everything that people really want in some sense. And in wealth, what I mean here, it's also that Plutos, right? You have to understand it's not money so much as its abundance, love, family, children, friends, security, success. You know, it's so much more. Yeah, and the key to this energy, right, to manifesting this middle is all about manifesting this queen. And to get us that queen, we have to be in this virtuous pursuit, this fiery energy, this passion of change and transformation. And that's what drives her. And that's what's going to drive us to actively change, to actively take responsibility, and to end bad habits that are going to allow us to fully embody this powerful, creative, feminine force, right? That inspires, that performs, right? That makes people feel good about themselves, right? Your Taylor Swifts, your Beyoncés, right? Powerful, powerful energy. If we go down the middle here, we have that Fool energy coming in, connected to this maintaining, and this disc. So what I'm seeing here is that this Fool is about bringing in this energy, right? This is a leap of faith. This is a transformation of character, right? This is an embodiment of a different energy than we're used to. So there's a potentially here a shift from that, the feminine energy, as we're seeing with the queen, right? It's kinship building, inspiring others, right? Whereas the masculine energy is more about that individualistic will, pursuing a personal desire, right? And if you help others, they come with you to fulfill that idea, right? Rather than building up others who then put forth your idea, right? It's kind of like interesting different dynamic of how the powers come out. So what I'm seeing here is that there's a shift from that feminine directive energy, right, where you're working through and with, where to you're now working for and as, I am doing this for myself. I'm building this in the now, right? It's a shift. And that's why it's also showing up as immature, because this is not something that you're used to. You don't have experience in this. So this is a deep learning curve. This is learning to take responsibility, learning to be practical, learning to be that Knight of Discs. You got to start as the Prince of Discs, right? And it's taking a risk, taking a leap, and really doing the work of maintaining and learning how to maintain, organizing your life, figuring it out. If we move down here, that 10 of that wealth, that Pluto's energy, right? That completion energy, getting and achieving all of our desires, right? We're doing this. We're manifesting this energy. We're bringing this wealth. The key is focus and mental calm, right? What I'm seeing a lot of is that most of the magic is always already done. Your karma has led you here. You've been working to get here. Now it's about being in this, controlling the mind and letting the dream play out. Often we are our biggest hindrances. We prevent ourselves from success because we do not believe ourselves worthy, or we don't understand how to handle success, and we abuse it and we hurt ourselves through silliness, So we really got to be careful too of this kind of wealth energy. We got to make sure that we're in this state to accept it, right? Where you're in peace and you're in self-control. Because if this kind of profound success comes in and you're not, people can also get hurt by it. Sometimes your greatest success is the thing that hurts you. I often think of, like, I had a lot of friends who were into acting, and then I had a couple of friends who made it, at least to a certain fairly successful extent. And a couple of them, the making it was the worst thing, because these were people who were used to rejection, like actors, constant rejection. And then to get the flip, it's like people don't know. And when you all you wanted is attention, and then you have attention, sometimes people they seek it too much and they explode, right? So you really got to be careful too of this positivity coming in. It's got to be maintained in that truth. And it's also about, you don't want to overdo it with the Magician too. Live in the present, You know, if you're constantly doing magic and trying to change things, you're bounding up everything. You're doing too much. You know, magic is about subtlety. It's about moving in flow, about pushing yourself in the right direction. It needs to be done with caution, right? And you need to be certain of what you want. You need to imagine yourself into the future. How is this going to play out? If you haven't thought about this stuff, don't be doing no spells. It's all in the spelling, right? In the grammar. What are you saying? What are you doing? What do you want? What do you mean? Right? And as we saw in the sortes too, when you do magic, it's about knowledge and love. If you start asking for silly things, you're going to just get bad karma. So be in that kind of that wisdom here, right? The magician can be sometimes greedy, you know, and this energy can lead to that greed. You gotta, this is the key here, that truce. So important. So now we're going to do the crosses. So we have, oof, this is a really intense cross. The magician and the hangman. There is no magician without the hangman, right? The only way the hangman really can perform magic is through going through this transformation to know how to perform magic. It's like they always lead to one another. So this is about, you're engaging in this magical process, so it's natural that this is going to unfold, that there's going to have to be this sacrificial transformation where you're going to have to end bad habits, learn how to focus, take responsibility, upgrade. It's just part of the magical process, right? So as part of that process, you got to be in this energy of pruning, of cleaning, of taking responsibility, right? Doing the hard work, of being present. You know, a lot of life is about just those mundane tasks, right? Brushing your teeth, cleaning up after yourself, organizing your daily stuff. That makes such a huge bloody difference and can transform everything, you know? Wow. So now let's do this one, right? Virtue and mental clarity, right? You want to pursue what is good. You want to be in that loving energy. You want to try to do what's right and make people happy. But you also got to be in this mental state of balance where if you fail to do this or it doesn't come out the way exactly you intended, it's okay. You know, you got, this is really the most important energy of this whole reading, being that truce, right? That mental state of balance is one of the most powerful things that you can have. And if you combine it with this profound pursuit of what's good and right and truth, you know, truth, virtue, wow. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is a great reading, everyone. You know, it's about taking those risks, transforming the self, going through this magical process of transformation, embodying that queen, and also embodying that prince of discs. We got to be that passionate performer, but we also got to take stock and build and take care of ourselves. And the key to it all is this passion, this virtue, and this truce, mental clarity. And when we can have that, it'll bring in wealth. They'll bring in profound wealth. I love to see it. Love to see it. That was a great reading, everyone. Really enjoyed it. So much fun. So we'll just give another shout out to the chat here. So I want to just say hi. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Shout out to Vox Vespera. Thank you. Shout out to Isaac, Kari, Valerie. Good to see you. Gandhi. Happy to see you. Molia Watson. Good to see you, Karma, Ruby and Jeremy, Daniel Fiore. Wow, lots of people today. Good to see you, JJ. Amazing. Good to see you, Esoteric Teachings. Valerie as well. Amazing. I think I got everyone. Dawson, beautiful to see you. Mother Rhea, AJ. So thank you all for coming in. This has been such a good time. Shout out to Bad Star. Good to see you. We're going to do one final sortes, and then we're going to end it for the night. I think I'm going to go back to Arcana Mundi. I had fun with this one. I love this book. Good necromantic Greek magic in here, if you're ever interested. All right, muses, guide my hand. What is the message we need to know to move forward and flow? What is the inspiration we should take from George Luck? All right, let us see. Some heroes have been considered fated gods, that is, powers who were originally divine, but who, unlike the immortal gods, had died and were worshipped at their tombs rather than in temples, as the gods were. Wow. Wow. That's kind of interesting. This is the second time that Luck is telling us about the different varieties of deity. So we learned in the previous sortes about the difference between daimons and gods, that they're of a different invisible quality, and that gods have to be called through the divine name, right? That's what gives them form. But we're also hearing here that some heroes are fated gods, that is, powers who were originally divine, but who, unlike the immortal gods, had died and were worshipped at their tombs rather than in temples. Interesting. I wonder if that relates to this idea of the chthonic versus the Olympian, And it makes me think too, of this idea of the hanged man, that gods have to go through this apotheosis to achieve that immortality. They have to die and rise again. That's what makes them gods, when they can be ascended among the stars. We're talking about this so much during the live stream about purple today. We were looking at the myths of Heracles and Melkart and Nergal, and they're all going through this kind of apotheosis by fire, where they are burned and then they go to the underworld, and then they magically are able to return through some trial. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stuff, right? And heroes who don't succeed in that trial don't get to ascend to the stars. They stay in the tombs, I guess. Interesting. All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. That was a great tarot. So thank you, everyone, again, for coming out. Take a moment and please hit that like button. It really does make a difference. It affects the algorithm. I don't know. I'm just, help me out. Send me that blessing. Much appreciated. And if you are ever interested, you can reach out to me on the Discord, Myth and Lore. My name is Lady Snappy or Snappy. You can also send me an email at snappydts@gmail.com if you are interested in a private reading or just to chat about any of this stuff. All right. Thank you guys so much. This has been such a beautiful time. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Peace and love.